Alright, on these examples, I'm going to be solving equations as in chapter 8.1. Alright, so this first example, I've got a plus 5 equals 25. Now to solve this equation, I want to get this a all by itself on the left side. So, you see this plus 5? What I'm going to do is use my addition property of equality, which says that I can subtract 5 from this side of the equation if I subtract it from the other side of the equation. Because guess what? That gives me my a right there. Plus 5 and negative 5. They give me a big 0. And then I got my equal sign. And over here, I got what? 25 plus a negative 5, or 25 minus 5, which gives me 20. Now, to check this, all I got to do is plug my 20 back in for that a and see if that equals a true statement. Well, if I put the 20 in, 20 plus 5 equals 25. That's a true statement, so I know I got that in right. Alright, let's try this one. D minus 9 equals a negative 21. Alright, so what I'll do this time to get this d by itself is I'm going to add the opposite of a negative 9 to both sides. Well, that would be what? Adding a positive 9 to both sides. Okay, because guess what? I bring my d down. Negative 9 and plus 9, they zero out again. So then I got my equal sign. Now, I'm adding unlike signs, so I subtract the numbers, and 21 minus 9 is 12. Then I get the sign of the larger number. So since the 21 was negative, I get a final answer of negative 12. Alright, next example. I'm going to do 11x on one side. That's going to equal a 10x minus 17. Alright, so I'm going to get the x's on one side, numbers on the other. But if you notice, I can subtract that 10x from both sides. Okay, remember x's only add and subtract from x's. So 11x's minus 10x's leaves me a 1x. Over here, look at this. 10x, negative 10x zeroed out. All that was left was what? A negative 17. Okay, so the trick is try to get the x's on one side, get the number on the other side. Alright, how about 5x equals 20? So on the first few examples, I added and subtracted from each side based on what I was sort of given. Here, when you got a 5 next to an x like that, that means they're being multiplied. So, we want that to be 1x, not 5x's. So is it not true that if I took that 5 and divided by 5, them 5's would cancel, giving me a 1 there, right? Which is 1x. But if I divided that side by 5, I got to go to the other side and divide it by 5. So now I got my 1x, and then 20 divided by 5 gives me 4. Okay? So that's the trick. Undo what you're given. Negative 3. Z equals a positive 12. I can tell you what, I know this answer better be negative because a negative times a negative gives me a positive, okay? Now, when you got a negative number in front of your variable, you're going to divide by a negative number. Because y'all, negative 3 divided by negative 3 will cancel, giving me a 1. So I get my 1z on the left side. On the right side, I got 12 divided by negative 3. Well, I know that's going to be unlike signs, so that makes that answer negative. And then 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. So my final answer, z equals -4. Alright, this one I got an n over 7 equal to 2. So that bar means division. So this is n divided by 7. So to undo division and make that a 1n, I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. Okay, because guess what? 7 divided by 7 is 1. That gives me 1n on the left side. Now, nothing over here will cancel, so all you got is what? 7 times 2, which gives me 14. Alright, 2x equals -34. Alright, you guessed it. I want that to be a 1x, so I'm going to take 2 and divide by 2, which means I take my -34 and divide by 2. Well, those cancel, giving me my 1, so I got my 1x. Unlike signs, so that's going to be negative, and then 34 divided by 2 is 17. So I get x equals -17. Alright, -7 plus 10 equals m minus 5. Now, first thing you want to do is look on each side of these equal signs and see if you can't combine any like terms. Well, the m and the -5 won't add together, but these two numbers will add together. So, I'm adding unlike signs. 10 minus 7 is 3. Larger number is positive, so the 3 is positive. That's equal to what? M minus 5. Now, I want to get my m all by itself over here. So, since this 5 is being subtracted, I'm going to add a positive 5 to both sides. So that 3 plus 5 is 8. That equals my m. That -5 and plus 5 zero out. So my final answer is 8 equals m, or m equals 8. Alright, let's see what's next. So y'all seeing how these equations, you ain't doing nothing but undoing what they're giving you. Oh, look at this. I'm going to do 2w minus 12w equals 40. Alright, so I'm looking again. Oh, look over here. I got w's. They're like terms, and they're on the same side of the equal sign, so I can combine them as like terms. So I got a positive 2, a -12. Unlike signs, 12 minus 2 is 10. Larger number is negative. So that gives me a -10w. All equal to 40. So remember, the -10 is being multiplied by w. So I'm going to divide both sides by, you guessed it, -10. So I'll do that to the 40. Now, -10 by my -10 is 1. So that gives me 1w equal to, unlike signs, makes that a negative answer. And then 40 divided by 10 is 4. So look at that, I get w equals a -4. Alright, we're going to do one more of these. I'm going to do x over 5 equals -26 plus a positive 16. Alright, so first thing I got like terms over there. So I'm going to bring this x over 5 down. -26, positive 16. Unlike signs, 26 minus 16 is 10. Larger number is negative, so that gives me a -10. Now, I want that to be 1x. Since that x is being divided by the 5, I've got to multiply it by 5. So guess what? These 5's cancel, give me a 1. So that gives me 1x. Over here, I can't cancel nothing, so I got to multiply. A negative 10 times a positive 5 is a negative 50. Alright y'all, that is the end of that video.